Okay, let's call this meeting to order. We're a little bit late, but let's start with the pledge of the allegiance to the flag. Pledge
Allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to make sure that Lisa is able to join.
Okay, this is a tentative agenda which includes all information available as of December 11th, 2024. The final tentative agenda will be posted at the Rio Blanco County Historic Courthouse, 555 Main Street, Meeker, Colorado, and at Rangeley Town Hall, 209 East Main Street, Rangeley, Colorado. The agenda, we're going to have a little.
Yes, we have one change on the agenda. Under presentation of the 2025 proposed budget, line item A should read presentation of the 2025 HUTF proposed spending budget, which is included in the 2025 budget. And with that change, Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the budget, including that.
We'll get
I
it.
second.
Yeah, agenda,
I second.
right?
Agenda, yes.
Thank you, Jennifer. You can hear us okay, Jennifer?
I can. Thank you.
Okay, any discussion on that? Sean, would you please call the roll?
Gates,
Aye.
Overton,
Aye.
O'Hare.
Aye.
Okay. Now we need a motion to approve the special budget meeting agenda. We just did that. Please hold your questions or comments until the conclusion of the presentation. Questions must pertain to the budget. Please come to the front podium and state your name for the record. Please limit your questions to or comments to 3 minutes per member or 5 minutes per group. This meeting is being recorded. For a copy of the official recording, please contact the Rio Blanco County Clerk and Recorder. So we're going to do open it for questions from the public.
Anyone here? that-
Anybody here? Nobody here is from the public. Do we have anyone online that would like to?
This is Wendy Gillard. You said to wait for the questions until after the presentation though, right?
This is the time that you can do your.
Might want to go. And it's not gonna. Yeah, that was wrong in there. So, we can do it after I present it.
Okay. So we're going to move this to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once I present it.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. In order to meet the state deadlines, sorry, Wendy, we're going to do this first, okay? In order
Yep.
to meet the state deadlines for the budget adoption and tax levy, we will adopt the 2025 budget today. However, any objections that are registered here will be given due consideration. If any change in the 2025 budget is determined to be in the best interest of the citizens of Rio Blanco County, a 2025 supplemental budget will be initiated to make such changes. No increase in expenditures will be considered in such supplemental budget unless a decrease of the same amount is made to a different expenditure or an adequate amount of unanticipated revenue to offset the as defined in the Colorado statute will be recognized. Statutes will be recognized. Okay. So,
I think you're ready for me to start presenting.
yes, we're ready for the presentation of the budget.
So the budget itself, we went through several revisions, and I'm not a fan of ClearGov at times, but I think we finally made it there and finally got the dollar amounts. We went through several budget hearings. We went through several scrub budgets, which were informal with the one commissioner helping to drive that. So the majority of the expenses, we did not have to go through line by line by line and spend many nights doing that. So we have come to a position on the budget, and I do need to make sure that Lisa is on. Is Lisa on yet, guys?
I don't see her yet.
Okay, give me just 1 second to text her. She's probably trying to get on, or I can call her.
We're gonna hold up a minute for our accounting person to join us.
Oh, yeah, try the red lemon. Can you do that? Or I can. Okay, Lisa will be joining us. And the reason why I really need Lisa to join us is she is the one that is a CPA and a finance advisor. So, and she's got the technical ability to provide the information. That being said, there are a couple of things that we'll need to do throughout the day today, and tomorrow will be to update some comments. There are 2 pieces of information that we do need to change in the budget as it was printed this morning. And these were actually brought to my attention by Ms. Dillard. So I'm going to mention those right now. And they have been updated in the budget that is showing online and will be presented, will be the adopted version. So the first one is in, it reflects around the county attorney's contracts. And we had a miss in the 2024 budget. The salary for the attorney under the Department of Human Services was $132,000. And that was incorrect. The total should be $138,000. That was a part of the 2024 budget in DHS. That it was incorrect there. When it carried over incorrectly into the 2025 in the DHS budget only and was not caught. That figure by contract with the contracts that were executed between the board and Mr. Stearman, that figure is the 138,000. So again, that is a change that will be done right now.
Lisa, can you hear? Can you hear us okay, Lisa? Okay,
Yes, can you hear me?
Jump in if I,
yes, we can.
Okay,
thank you, Lisa. Thanks for jumping on. So that is one change that I did just enter, which will change the DHS portion of the budget by that difference from 132 to 138. Again, you haven't adopted it, so we're still able to change those kinds of things. There was one other item that came up, and it's in, again, within the DHS budget. Under programs, there is a caseworker listed as a vacant position at $119,755. We believe that because it doesn't list out salaries, compensation, or anything like that, we believe that is erroneous and will actually be removed, but we'll need to confirm that. Laura?
Vicki, looking at that, Lisa may be able to help us on that because she has a note in there that says SV 15242 matching expenditures, and then the dollar figure. So I'm not sure if that means something different. It's not one of our regular.
It's not one of the HR caseworker issues. Lisa, does that make sense to you on that line item?
and how much was it for?
it's in the DHS budget. And it says caseworker under programs. So it's under the programs, caseworker, right above family voice grant. And it says caseworker and for 119,755.
Okay, that's just the name of the grant that they were using rather than the SB. And that 119 was already recognized in the budget.
So should that line be deleted then? Or does that stay in
Okay.
there as an expense?
Was it 119,000? Yes, it should stay in there.
Okay,
So it's not an actual.
it's not an actual caseworker position.
Title.
No,
It is a grant title.
No.
Okay, then that one stays in. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, so with that being said, the dollar amounts, the figures that are in the budget, we believe are where they need to be. As you mentioned, Doug, if there are any changes, if there is anything significant that would require a change of the budget, it would be a budget supplemental. So at that point, we would look at changing that, through an official action of the commissioners. The things that I will ask that we will allow us to continue to work on and revise is some of the commentary. It will not change the underlying figures, but it just changes the commentary. There were a couple of that said 2023 that we missed the update to 2024, 2025. So again, it will not change any of the underlying budget dollar amounts. It only would change the commentary, which is not necessary for the budget adoption. But it does help clarify what your intentions are for the budget. There are also some charts that are kind of charts that are taking the data that's in the budget and then pulling it forward. Some of those charts are kind of useless data. It's like a green circle, or it doesn't provide information that would change. So it wouldn't necessarily help someone to understand the budget better. There are some better charts that may help you to understand what that particular chart is trying to define. Again, that would be minor in comparison because it's not changing the data. It's just how someone might perceive the data. And in the budget law, they want to try and, that's why we moved away from just doing like a spreadsheet analysis of everything. Is people interpret the information in different ways. And so it might be easier for someone to see a pie chart versus a bar chart. So again, the data is going to be the same. It's just how that's used on the page. With that being said, I'm going to go through one of the big things and challenges that we know came up was the reduction in our enrollments. I mean, we've talked about it till probably we're blue in the face about, how things dropped. There was really, nothing we can just blame Renee because for some reason she decided she didn't want to find as much money for it. I'm just kidding. It is what it is. Now we can hope that eventually, with a new administration at the federal level, maybe we'll have some growth back. I think as far as a lot of the things that the county has looked at is making sure that we live within our means. And that means that we're budgeting for just like we would on our own personal budgets. We get income from working, we put that in the bank, we pay our bills out of it, and we try to stay under that. We may separate some money into savings, and that money that goes into savings, we keep that so that for the rainy day, or we keep that for something. And we say, oh, gee, my roof is failing. I'm going to have to start setting some funds aside to re-roof my house. So as you get your monthly paycheck, turn around and you put a little aside for that. When you have those funds built up in your reserves, you can say, okay, without coming out of my checkbook, I can fix my roof. Those kinds of things is what we have experienced right now. We had a lot of funds that were set aside in our reserves to cover certain expenses, to cover some issues with our failing infrastructure with broadband. Things wear out. We've got to make sure we stay on top of those things. We have some airport projects With the airport projects, it's important to keep in mind that we've told the federal government and the state government that we will improve our airports. We actually have to pull the trigger on that and do those sometimes. And so that part of what you're seeing as why there's a change in our reserves is we've saved up this money in our savings account and said, when we get to a certain point, we'll do X, Y, and Z. We're not taking reserves to pay for our daily operational or weekly or monthly operational expenses. These are for designated projects. So with that in mind, we're going to continue to try and save as much as we can, identify projects, sock money away till we can afford to budget and pay for them, knowing that federal grants may be on the decline, which will also cause state grants to decline. Commissioner O'Haron went to a conference, and in that they said, we need to be prepared to fund DHS with an increase, basically of an additional 6% coming out as county-only dollars. We can't just not do DHS services. We have to do those. Of course, we would want to do those, but that means there could be more county-only dollars that are going to have to go to provide and cover those services, which means there will be less money for us to put away in our other pockets to say, okay, we've got to have, this widget, we've got to improve this building, and this is going on. So we're going to be very strategic about moving forward in 2025, 2026 and on. I mentioned it before that we've got a software that Janae spoke very highly of, which was Clear Plans. It's a strategic planning software that will tag onto the budget, and where now we typically only update into this ClearGov budget software on an annual basis, we'll begin to do that in a monthly basis. So we can see where we're at on specific projects and target that as we go along. Again, knowing it's not going to have to wait till the end of the year before we know where we're at with the progress as a specific project. So I think that will really help us moving forward. I will encourage everyone to be a little forward thinking and, think of ways that we can possibly save more money. Expenses that we don't need to incur, that we cut back on those and continue to really monitor that piece of the budget, the day-to-day things that we truly do have an impact over. We do know that we have several bridges that are failing, and we don't know what that looks like. They were all built about the same time. So we're going to have to be very cognizant and plan for those repairs. And that's what we will continue to sock away and build up for. That being said, you've been over the budgets. You were involved in individual meetings. At this point, I have nothing further. I could go through it department by department, but I don't think it will change the nature of the numbers unless you see something that you want to address, commissioners.
I certainly don't. I'm happy with what you've done and appreciate it. I think it's more clear this year than it was last. We're good.
Well, and I owe that to Lisa for sure, being how I just started in June and kind of jumped right into that without a finance person in pocket. And Colleen left in August. Yeah, in August. So we had just that little piece, but we really hadn't gotten into this part of it. So going through it, I've learned a lot. I have a lot of knowledge that I've learned, which, that's that struggle thing. If you're, struggling with something, then you're learning something. So I do have some plans for next year's budget and some example things that we'll do to play around with this particular software, because I think it's more a software struggle to make sure it's working and a little bit easier to work through. So, but I feel confident in the numbers, except for those, the one that I mentioned. The other one is actually okay, according to Lisa. So with that, I will conclude my presentation unless you want to do any other, guys.
Thank you for all your work on that. And thank you, Lisa.
Yes, thank you, Lisa.
I just want to echo what Doug and Ty said, and Vicki, you've done an amazing job, and I appreciate all the hard work you've put into it and coordinating a lot of meetings to get it done. And Lisa, thank you for helping us out. We do appreciate it. You've kept us on track, so thank you.
And I will echo that because each one of the people that had a hand in the budget the directors and the, people, the submitters that actually put in the information. Relying on them to get the right information in was huge, and they've all done a phenomenal job. So, and commissioners, your employees have worked just every bit as hard as what I have. Laura and Chrissy were here till late, working on it, and selflessly, I appreciate that. So again, all employees countywide have just been a tremendous support to me in this job. So thank you to everyone.
All of the department heads and people that are involved in this that I talked to said this year was a lot easier, so that directly reflects to you. Okay. I think we're ready for some resolutions then.
Public comment first.
Public comment. Public comment. Public comment. In order to meet the,
I think you already read
Yeah,
it.
you
So I think you just have to ask.
I don't have a public comment statement. So Wendy, do you have a public comment you'd like to?
I just had a couple of questions. So Vicky did clarify a few of them when she was presenting. I was curious, what is the grant title where that line item where it said caseworker? What was the name of the grant?
Let me see if I can find the name of that grant. Let me look for that real
Okay.
quick.
Do you want me to ask another question while you're looking? Okay, so
Yeah.
then there's an area under the DHS budget that says allocations to programs. One is allocate operating expense to programs, and the other is allocate, I assume, salary and benefits to programs. What is that exactly? I bet Jennifer maybe can answer that the best. I asked Vicky a little bit about it, but it was confusing.
You know, I don't think that we're prepared to answer questions. This is your time to comment. If you want questions answered, you need to put that in writing and send it to us. And that should have been done by 5 o'clock last night. But I'm sure we'll work with you if you want to put that in writing. But we're not prepared to go through and answer every question that you have in this session.
Okay, so I just had a couple of them. I saw it on the agenda. It said that there was an opportunity for questions. And I'm not filing an objection by any means.
Wendy, this is Vicky. I would suggest that we actually review the questions submitted by email,
Okay,
and then that way we can provide you with the information, because to dig into it, we could be wasting everybody's time. Will that be okay?
yeah, that's fine. So then I'll just make 2 comments that are questions, and I'll send them to you in an email to Vicky. And, obviously you don't have to answer them all right now. I definitely want to respect everyone's time. The other 2 things that I wanted to ask was if in the budget book that where it has the descriptions for each, area, and okay, I'm sorry. My brain is not happening right now. So for instance, like Don Stearman, he wears many, many hats. And so currently in the budget book under attorney, it says, he's the county attorney and this is what he carries out. And then it says, then he also carries out legal services for DHS. And then in that description, it says that payroll amount is associated in the DHS funds. And so, but he has a lot more hats that he wears than those 2. And so I would like to see something that shows what his functions are, and then how his county salary is paid through that. And then my second thing is, my other question, and I'll send it to Vicky, is Our outside resource that we use for DHS, Audrey Johnson, do we pay her or is she just someone that we're able to reach out to and it doesn't cost the county any money? I think that everything else was already answered though.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your comments and paying
Thank-
attention.
And she did catch a lot of errors in the comment section, and that's why I'm asking that you allow me to continue to update the comment section. It will not change the figures. It will just address the comments, that underlying comment.
Okay,
Say one more thing. I just wanted to thank you guys for all of your hard work working through that almost 500-page book of numbers. I just appreciate every single one of you at the county and the commissioners and Vicky for answering all my crazy nagging questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, so I think we're on to resolutions now.
Yes, you are.
Good. So let's go to resolution A.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve resolution 2024-44, a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Rio Blanco County, Colorado, summarizing expenditures and revenues for each fund and adopting a budget for Rio Blanco County, Colorado for the calendar year beginning on the first day of January 2025 and ending on the last day of December 2025.
I
A
second.
resolution,
Sorry.
you're good. We're good.
Good. There's motion by Ty, second by Jennifer. Any discussion? John, would you please call the roll?
Overton,
Aye.
O'Hairn.
Aye.
Aye.
Good. Let's move on to resolution B.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve resolution 2024-45, a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Rio Blanco County, Colorado, appropriating sums of money to the various funds and spending agencies for the 2024 budget year. Resolution to appropriate monies for 2025.
I second.
2025.
Agencies for the 2025 budget year.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Amended.
Mr. Chairman, I would
Sorry.
move to amend that motion instead of 2024, changing that to 2025.
Thank you, Chrissy.
Thank you, Chrissy.
Okay. So I need you
I
to
second.
second the, okay. So we need to, would you call the roll, please?
O'Hairn,
Aye.
Overton,
Aye.
Gates.
Aye.
Good. That is the amendment. Now let's vote on the resolution.
Overton,
Aye.
Gates.
Aye.
O'Hairn.
Aye.
Now, is that true with the first amendment or the first resolution we did also?
That we had the right dates.
Correct.
They are correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay, now we're on to resolution C.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve resolution 2024-46, a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Rio Blanco County, Colorado, levying general property tax for the year, is that 2020,
Yes.
2024?
At least I'm correct in that. That is the 2024 to help defray the cost of 2025, correct? Yes. Yes, that's
Okay.
correct. I should have
Two.
asked your name just to make sure.
To help defray the cost of government for the County of Rio Blanco, Colorado for the 2025 budget year. Resolution to levy general property taxes for county government.
I second.
Any discussion? Sean, would you please call the roll?
Gates.
Aye.
Overton,
Aye.
O'Hairn.
Aye.
Good, let's move. Sorry, thank you. Resolution D.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve resolution 2024-47, a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Rio Blanco County, Colorado, levying general property tax for the year 2024 to help defray the cost of Piance Creek Pest Control District for the County of Rio Blanco, Colorado, for the 2025 budget year.
I second.
Any discussion? Sean, would you please call the roll?
Overton,
Aye.
O'Hairn.
Aye.
There's another typo. I didn't see
I
it.
see it. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Sorry, did you call for E?
Mm, yeah, I called for a vote. No, let's see. You seconded that, right, Jennifer?
I did.
So we can do we can correct that before we vote.
We're good. Are we on E now?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yes. So you can just read it.
Yeah,
Right.
I'll read it.
Oh, well. We have a motion on the floor, correct?
But you've all did the roll count. for-
Okay,
For that.
very good. Okay,
Good.
so, okay,
So, Mr. Chairman, I move to approve resolution 2024-48, a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Rio Blanco County, Colorado, levying general property taxes for the year 2024 to help defray the costs of Lower White River Pest Control District for the county of Rio Blanco, Colorado, for the 2025 budget year.
I second.
good. Any discussion? Seeing none, Sean, would you please call the roll?
Overton,
Aye.
Gates,
Aye.
O'Hairn.
Aye.
Very good. We did it. We're gonna adjourn the meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.